All right, should be on now. You want me to open up?
Yeah, that's what's up.
Okay.
I was waiting on the alert. Tripping.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Shalom.
Want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rahaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Akim teaching about the mind wild mop. That's in sincerity and truth. It's a Great Millstone Dallas branch, and we back with another lesson. I'm Yatazak. I got the brother Ainah here with me, and we continuing the series on the Book of Judges. We up to chapter 11 now. So Lord willing, this thing will be edifying. Just a couple of points and a couple of thoughts that you gonna run across reading this chapter. We were just talking about making vows uh, before the before we turn the camera on. You see, and we also noticed about the relationship with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. How you see his Jephthah's relationship versus other men that the Lord set up as judges. So we're gonna get into it, man. And Lord willing it to be edifying, and it's for who it's for.
That's right. Um, yeah. So really, when you coming off the heels of chapter 10, you know, the Lord basically just got done cursing out Israel for going off again. You know what I'm saying? And basically, Israel was seeking after a mighty man to save them and to redeem them. You know what I mean? And uh, Jephthah ended up being that one, right? So this is Judges chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of an harlot. And Gilead begat Jephthah." Now, the land of Gilead, okay, pull up my handy maps. As you can see in the cursor right here, I'm going to zoom in. You can see all of this from the land of Gad all the way to East Manasseh. This was known as the land of Gilead. So whenever you see a Gileadite, he could have been, a Gadite, he could have been a Manassite, but this was known east of the Jordan River, was known as the land of Gilead. It's a large area, right? So it says he was a Gileadite, but his father name was also Gilead. So just to kind of clear up that, um, it could be a little bit confusing. Okay, the father of Jephthah was Gilead, but he was from the land of Gilead. So it was a name and a place, name of the man and a place. Now I want to get that word Jephthah really quick, which is Strong's H3316, Yapathach. Okay, which Yah at the beginning of the word means he. All right, and then Pathach means opens, so he opens. That's really basically what that name means. Um, you could also say the Most High opens, however you want to put it, but the root word here is Patach. Okay. Now, going back here, it says he was the son of a harlot, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't really like a legitimate son, in the sense of, you know, if you get a harlot pregnant, like, you know what I'm saying, that ain't the type of chick you're going to take home to mama. You know what I'm saying? She might be of another nation or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So his other siblings that he had, when you read verse 2, it says, "And Gilead's wife bare him sons," right? Another woman that Gilead had actually bare him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him, "Thou shalt not inherit our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman." You see? So they basically told him, like, look, bro, we ain't really feeling you like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got the same, you ain't cut from the same cloth as us, so to speak. That's pretty much the sentiment that they were coming with, when they rejected Jephthah, right? Kind of like, well, and this isn't the same situation, but kind of like how uh uh what's his name, Joshua, pretty much, I'm sorry, Joseph, excuse me, Joseph kind of got rejected by his brothers, even though they had the same, you know well, some of them had the same mother, but he pretty much rejected, even though they had the same father, he got rejected by his brethren, right? So It says, verse 3, then Jephthah fled from his brethren and went in the land of Tob, and dwelt, in the land of Tob. And there were gathered vain men to Jephthah and went out with him. So the land of Tob was located up here in the north. You can see this map pretty much has the different exploits of Jephthah, as it says right here. So the land of Tob was pretty much north of the land of Gilead, kind of outside of the land allotments, okay, of Manasseh. So going back here, it says, and there were gathered vain men to Jephthah and went out with him. These are pretty much, you know, probably carnal dudes, men of hire, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're worldly dudes. You know what I'm saying? Um, but he had a band. He had like a band of men. It was kind of like it says he was a mighty man. So those types of individuals are going to attract, the I'll say they're going to lead other people. You know what I'm saying? Whether they be righteous or not, right? So that's pretty much the situation with that. Um, Precept come to mind is Proverbs 1. You know what I'm saying? I'll get it real quick. Um, if sinners entice thee, see if I get that. Proverbs chapter 1 and 10. Okay. It says, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come, lay with us, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave and whole as those that go down to the pit. Um, Dropping on to verse 13, it says, my son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. Right. So, it doesn't really go into detail of what Jephthah was doing during this time, but he wasn't really doing too much spiritual stuff. He was just running with his dudes in the world, in layman's terms, right? So
And,
point being made.
and that's the thing. You got
Mm-hmm.
situations like that with people that's in the truth now. You know what I'm saying? You got men that didn't grow up in the truth. You know what I'm saying? We come from all walks of life, but the Lord can pull from anywhere.
Con,
You know what I'm saying? We kind of we'll say the Lord can raise up rocks as the sons of Abraham.
con,
You know, so this is a situation where Jephthah he was called. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't fully understand what he had gotten himself into. You see what I'm
right.
saying? Which happens to a lot of Jake. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the Lord can use you for a certain amount of time. You know, so just keep that in mind. Everybody don't have the same relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You see, it's levels to it. You
Yep.
know, you got it.
Con. Yep. So going back to Judges 11 and verse 4, it says, and it came to pass in process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel, right? Because um,
The
when you,
so-called Japanese today.
that's right. When you look here on this map here, you can see how the the nation of Ammon was basically right next to uh, the land of Israel, right? And you can see that you got the King's Highway, what I'm saying, going through here. So this was a trade route. So um, this was constantly being battled and fought over. What I'm saying, control of this trade routes, right?
And
So
you can also go back into the way we going back into the history and dealing with all these different nations that had us in captivity during the time of Judges. He that leadeth into captivity go into captivity. So as we go through the roster of all the nations that have had us in captivity, you see why we saying that all these nations are gonna have to pay. You see, we
mhm,
ain't just saying it because we don't like what they look like and all. No. They had us in slavery. The scriptures say, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity." We've been led into captivity by all the nations. You see, that's why all the nations are gonna have to pay up. You got it.
right, that's right. Yep. And it says they made war against Israel, verse 5, and it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. So they were like, man, we know, hold on, who can help us, who can save us, right, from this situation, like this sentiment in the end of chapter 10. And they were like, okay, well, shoot, we know we can go get Jephthah, you know what I'm saying? He's a mighty man. In verse 6 it says, and they said unto Jephthah, come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. And verse 7 it says, and Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, did not ye hate me and expel me out of my father's house? And why are you come unto me now when ye are in distress? You see, so he had like basically a level of resentment towards them, like, hold on, man, y'all dudes pretty much cast me out, but I didn't even do anything wrong. But now you want to come and ask for my help. You know what I'm saying? Now that the Ammonites coming and jack y'all up, nah. So he was like, he was feeling, he was kind of feeling himself like, nah, y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? It says in verse 8, and the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, therefore we turn again to thee now, that thou mayest go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. Right? So they pretty much they pretty much was like, look, bro, we don't got no other choice. You know what I'm saying? We need you to be our captain, and they were entreating him and tell him like, look, you can be our head, like you can be uh our head captain, of the armies, right? Over all the inhabitants of Gilead. Right? It says in verse to the Gilead, if you bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord Yahweh Shemiah shall deliver them before me, shall I be your head? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, the Lord Yahweh Shemiah shall be witness between us, if we do not so according to thy words. See, so this is a promise or oath that's been made here, right?
Yep. And every time Israel make an oath, they break it. That's
Yeah.
why we on the ninth. That's why we on the ninth judge in the 11th chapter.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Now I will say in this turn, in this time they did, you know, they did go forward with what they said they was going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't really have no other choice. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord humbled them to a position where they didn't have no choice. Because it says in chapter 10 how they were basically in captivity 18 years. You know what I'm saying? They was going through it, right? So it says, verse 11, then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before the Lord uh, in Mizpeh, right? And basically, when you look up, when you look up this place Mizpeh, right? The word here is Strong's H4709 Matazapah. Okay, uh, Miss, excuse me, Matazapah Watchtower, a place um, in Gilead, but basically it represents a place where you basically a witness. The Most High is a witness. You know what I'm saying? Should try to see if there's like a good commentary on here. A town, Benjamites. Uh, yeah, it's also a place where Laban and Laban and hold on, make sure. Laban and Jacob, yeah. Laban and Jacob made an oath before the Lord in Mizpeh. You know what I'm saying? They made a covenant in that same place, right? So it's kind of like a place that was known to where you make pacts and covenants, and the Lord be your witness. You know what I'm saying? Because really that root word, hold on, let me get it again. Matazah, I believe it goes into vision. And you see, Matazapah. Yeah, Matazapah, Watchtower, Watchtower, Tazapah. watchman. Okay, Tazapah means watchman. So yeah, to look out. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to get that little nugget out of there. Hebrew nugget of the day. All right, going back to verse 12. It says, "And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What hast thou to do with me, that art, excuse me, art come, that thou art come against me to fight in my land?" So here you go. Now Jephthah, he's approaching the Ammonites now, right? Modern day Japanese. Okay, and says,
Gates of the
and
nobles, baby.
Khan, yep, he
Sent
sent
his messages
messengers.
to the gates of the nobles.
Yep, right. So he's like, yo, like, what's going on, man? Like, I heard you messing with my folks. What's going on? Right? Verse 13, and the king
Let my
of the
people go, man.
man, for real. Right. Verse 13, and the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt from Arnon even to Jabbok and unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. So they're talking about this area here. They're saying like, look, like, the Jabbok River, you know what I'm saying, which is right here, you know what I'm saying, the Jabbok River, you know, to the Jordan River. They were saying like, look, that's our land. You know what I'm saying? They're saying like, look, that's our land. Y'all took this land from us. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, look, we're trying to take it back, right? From the Jabbok River to the Jordan River and everything in between. But you see, this is the land allotment of Gad. So this is the response of Gilead. I'm sorry, the response of Jephthah, right? Um, verse 14, and Jephthah sent messengers again and this is a history chunk right here. You know what I'm saying? And at this point in history, at this point in time, this was known. Like this was known. Like the Israelites knew how they got there. They knew the relation, the dynamic of how they were allowed into the land. You know what I'm saying? They know that the Lord led them into the land, and they knew that basically that which nations did what. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when Moses, came to the nations, the various different nations borders. When we was in the wilderness, they knew like, okay, no, this nation, they were compliant. You know what I'm saying? Versus this nation, they were, basically being demons, right? So it says, verse 16, excuse me, verse 14, and Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon, and said unto him, Thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt and walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, Let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land. But the king of Edom would not hearken thereto. And in like manner they sent unto the king of Moab, but he would not consent. Right now, this is a reference to. Let me get the footnote. This is a reference to. I want to say Numbers. Let's say Numbers 14. Let me see. Yeah, Numbers 14. So you can read about this. I'm not gonna go into the whole chapter. I'm just gonna show where it can be put. Numbers 14, and let's see here. Numbers. Maybe it's not a good one. Hold on. Should be a footnote in here. Hold on 1 second. Cross reference.
I want to say, and then you notice how we had all these little pockets of different captivities during the time of Judges, and then you had the Babylonian Assyrian captivity. Then you had the captivity under the Edomites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you seeing all these different nations touch the apple of the Lord's eye. Even though we was going off and being wicked, you know what I'm saying? Hey, the Lord set it up to it is how it is what it is. You see, but every nation we've been under every nation. It's 18 nations, not 17, not including Israel because that's the nation that He chose. But every nation, when you go through the table of nations, they've all had us in derision at one point.
Yep. Okay, yeah. So it goes the overview of over here in Numbers 20. You know what I'm saying? When they asked to pass through the land of Egypt, pass around the borders of Edom, and the Edomites didn't want to let them do it, right? So on and so forth, right? And then they passed by that land, and then they came to the Ammonites border, right? This is what he's referring to, right? So I didn't have it pulled up. I didn't have it pulled up before the lesson, but I just wanted to go into it. Okay. So it says, and they went along through the wilderness and compassed the land of Edom, meaning they didn't go through it, and the land of Moab, they didn't go through that land either. And they came by the east side of the land of Moab and pitched on the other side of Arnon, but came not within the border of Moab, for Arnon was the border of Moab. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, the king of the Amorites, the king of Heshbon, and Israel said unto him, let us pass, we pray thee, through thy land into thy place, into my place. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his coast, but Sihon gathered all his people together and pitched in Jahaz and fought against Israel. Okay. Let's see here. Verse 21. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the power of Israel, delivered Sihon and all his people into the hand of Israel, and they smote them. So Israel possessed all the land of the Amorites, the inhabitants of that country. Right. So the Amorites were Canaanites. So he's explaining to them, like, Israel fought against the Canaanites and took their land, but Ammon, they didn't infiltrate the land of Ammon. The Lord didn't tell them to go into the land of the Ammonites, okay, which is not the same as the Amorites. Amorites were of the tribes of Canaan, okay, but Ammon, the Ammonites with an N, the Ammonites were basically on the east side, you know what I'm saying, of the Canaanite land. So they didn't really get infiltrated by Israel, right? So it says in verse 22,
Yeah.
and they
And footnote, Ammon is actually Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? They came out a lot. You know, so you got Hebrew Israelites, Hebrew Edomites, Hebrew Ammonites, Hebrew Moabites. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew Ishmaelites. You see, it's several different tribes amongst the Hebrews. You know, but they're not Israelites. They Hebrews, but they're not Israelites. Okay, just wanted to throw that out there.
Numbers 21, Numbers chapter 20 and Numbers chapter 21 is the history on this that we're reading right here. Numbers chapter 20 and 21. Okay. Um, so it says in verse 22, and they possess all the coasts of the Amorites from Arnon even unto Jabbok. So he was saying, like, nah, this was the Amorites' land. And the Amorites was in that part that y'all talking about belonged to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We took that from them. We ain't take that from y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's what Jephthah was saying. He was saying, look, we didn't take this land from the Ammonites. We took it from the Amorites who were Canaan, from the wilderness even unto Jordan. So now, verse 23. So now the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, the power of Israel hath dispossessed the Amorites from before his people Israel. And shouldest thou possess it? Right? He was like, look, the Lord moved them Canaanites out the way for us. And you know what I'm saying? You don't got no part in that. Right? As Ammonites, they didn't have no part in that. So verse 24 says, wilt thou not possess that which Chemosh thy God giveth thee to possess? So whomsoever the Lord, Yahweh, our power, shall drive out from before us, them will we possess. right? So that was the point that he was making. And Chemosh was the god of the Moabites and the Canaanites. You know what I'm saying? And Israel ended up worshiping Chemosh. Like when you read in Kings, First Kings, um, Solomon, he made uh, a temple or sacrifice to Chemosh. You know what I'm saying? When those women basically had persuaded him to build altars to other gods. Chemosh was one of them gods, which was the god of Ammon and Moab. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how Buddha is today, right? So it says in verse 25, Judges 11, and now art thou any better than Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Israel, or did he ever fight against them? He was referencing to the king that was in power during that time. During the time of Israel, um, you know, basically was entering into the land. You know what I'm saying? It says, while Israel dwelt in Heshbon and her towns, and in Aroer and her towns, and in all the cities that belong to the coast of Arnon 300 years, why therefore did you not recover them within that time? You see? So they were like, why y'all just, he was like, why y'all just now trying to, you know what I'm saying, say that this is y'all land? Like, we've been here for 300 years. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it was 300 years that Israel was dwelling in the land of Israel, in the land of Canaan, I guess you could say, you know? And so it says in verse 27, wherefore I have not sinned against thee, but thou doest me wrong to go to war against me. The Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the judge, be judged this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. Howbeit, the king of the children of Ammon hearkened not unto the words of Jephthah, which he sent him. So they wasn't trying to hear none of that, right? Even after he made a good case. So the Lord, had the spirit on them to fight, right? So it says, verse 29, then the spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, right? After they disagreed, it says, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh and passed over Mizpah of Gilead. And from Mizpah of Gilead, he passed over unto the children of Ammon. So going back to this map, it shows the route you see in the blue. He pulled up on them. He went up into their stuff, you know what I'm saying, and met them in their backyard, when he attacked. He went into the Ammonite territory. Okay, and it says, and Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord and said, if thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Moab into mine hands, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the children of Ammon shall surely be the Lord's, Yahweh's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. So this was why it says Jephthah's tragic vow, because if you vow a vow, matter of fact, let me get this precept real quick. Get this precept. Oops. Sirach 5. Um, Sirach chapter 5. Hold on, I had to pull up my other phone. Let's see. Oh, Ecclesiastes, not Sirach. I apologize. Ecclesiastes 5:4. It says, when thou vowest a vow unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it.
That's one thing we was discussing before we turned the camera on. Look, man, the Lord said just all you gotta do is believe. You know what I'm saying? You've already made a vow by putting your hand to the plow. You know, I can't count how many brothers I done seen make vows that they know they can't keep. You know what I'm saying? And then they end up with egg on their face or end up being out of her altogether. I'm not gonna drink no more until I get into the kingdom. Okay, well, you still in captivity and it is allowed to drink, just drink in moderation, right? You know what I'm saying? Or Jacob say they ain't gonna deal with no women and all this type of stuff. Look, just believe on the Lord and do the work, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord takes that vow very serious, man. I would say we already behind the 8 ball. before we come into the truth with all the wickedness that we done. Still in the flesh once we come into the truth. So to come in here and continue to add burdens to yourself, you're going to destroy yourself, man.
Yep.
You see? Believe on the Lord, do the work in sincerity and truth. Everything else will take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? Just because you come into the truth don't mean that you done made it out the woods. Coming to the truth don't mean the Lord owe you nothing. Right? Finding out you an Israelite, you know what I'm saying? Like Elder Yashawama did a lesson earlier. People come into this thing and they think that, well, I already done caught hell. I don't find out I'm the truth. Now it's time for the Lord to pay up. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. So when it comes to making those vows, man, that's serious business. That's serious business, man. You know, you can't hustle your way through a vow. Either you're gonna keep it or you're not. You see? And the Lord already know how full of shit we are before we even get started.
Man.
So watch that, man. You know what I'm saying? Watch that. You got it.
Yeah. Continuing on here in Ecclesiastes 5:5, it says, "Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow a vow and not pay."
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. That's the last thing you want to do. You see, you already got to fight this flesh as much as possible. But then to add burden upon burden to yourself, like, why? And as we continue to read this chapter, you're gonna see how serious business that vow making is. You see, you already made a vow to endure to the end by putting your hand on the plow. You know, Jake had their own vices. I ain't hollering at no more black bitches I ain't doing this and that. You got all these different things that you swear you ain't gonna do no more. But when you put that energy out there, Satan is gonna grab a hold of that. Oh, he not? So when the Lord asked the angels, what y'all gonna do about this dude? Well, he said he ain't gonna do this no more. He ain't gonna do that no more. Let's go see. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, the weapons I work for are not carnal. So for you to go carnal like that and try to, hey man, the Lord don't play like that. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, "Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel, it was an error. Wherefore should the Most High be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands?" You see, you can't say, "Oh damn, man, I know I made this vow, but it was an accident." You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what I was getting myself into, you know, in which reason why we're bringing out the scripture. We haven't gotten around to it yet, but because basically, kind of like how Saul made that crazy ass vow, like anybody who eats anything this day, you know, shall be cursed, put to death. You know, after his men had just went to war. You know what I'm saying? And his own son had eaten something, you know, because he didn't hear Saul say it. He had ate a piece of honeycomb, and Saul was finna have to put his son to death in front of everybody, and everybody was like, "Nah, man, hell nah, man, we can't let you do that." You know what I'm saying? It's finna be looking crazy as hell.
Yep. The whole when he told the witches, he made that decree about the witches, and then when he got one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, you don't never know what's gonna happen, man. You know, man's going to the Lord, man. The Lord will put you in a trick bag, man, and then beat that trick bag up against a tree.
Man, that's why it says, "Better is it that thou shouldest not vow." Just don't even do it.
Now you notice this is in Ecclesiastes, so this is one of the wisdom books.
Man,
that's good advice right there, man.
God, that's a message that we can all learn from. Mm-hmm. So let's just go back here to this account in Judges 11.
Oh man, that was just like when ITR Nazariah and them. They made that vow. They made that vow on camera. You know what I'm saying? They made that vow on camera. Now all them dudes gone, man. I can't remember what the vow was exactly about. I just know it was crazy. It was something about something about the apostles.
Yep.
You know? Then you got that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, then you got the nigga, you got that old country ass nigga, damn, Darasha. The apostle Tahar gonna die in 40 days. And if he don't die, then I ain't a prophet. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga
And you
with the
and you
belt.
people say these types of things, but they don't realize, you know what I'm saying? But hey,
Oh, well, you know what? That reminds me of what is that? Isn't that in Jeremiah 17 where the false prophet broke the yoke off of Jeremiah's neck and and is it Jeremiah 17 or is it Jeremiah, hold on. It might be in Jeremiah 20. Let me see something. I said
come.
break the yoke, or he broke the yoke off his neck. I think it might be Jeremiah 28. Jeremiah 28. That's it. Hananiah. I didn't want to get his name wrong. Yeah, Hananiah the prophet. He took the yoke because basically Hananiah was saying, "Look, Israel gonna be at peace." Jeremiah was like, "Nah, you niggas ain't gonna make it." Roughly paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? And Jeremiah was like, "Shit, if you a prophet of the Lord, then hey, let what you say come to pass. What I'm seeing is Israel ain't gonna make it." Then Hananiah doubled down and was like, because Jeremiah had that yoke on his neck to basically exemplify how Israel was gonna be made captives. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And Hananiah took the yoke from off his neck and he broke it in half. And Hananiah, excuse me, this is Jeremiah 28:11, by the way. It says, "And Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all the nations, which within the space of 2 full years." And the prophet Jeremiah went his way. See, so he just came up, he pulled that out of his ass. 2 years, in 2 years, the Lord going to free Israel from Babylon's oppression and from Babylon's pressure that they was putting on Israel and from all the nations. And Jeremiah was like, okay, all right, okay, cool, you know. And then he came, and then the Lord came to Jeremiah, right, and gave him like the skinny on the fact that Jeremiah he was just talking shit. You know what I mean? Basically, ended up, and you read verse 17. This is the reason why I got this account. At the end of this chapter, it talks about how the Lord killed him the same year. You know what I'm saying? Killed Hananiah, the false prophet. So, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be making vows in the name of the Lord and prophesying in the name of the Lord, lying, because you get put to death. Like this guy Hananiah, he got put to death. The Lord did that. See?
Right.
So, anyway, going back here to Judges 11 uh, and 30. I read that. I read verse 31. And the reason why Jephthah did this is because he didn't really understand how Yahweh Shem Shai operated up until this point. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were doing child sacrifice, like human sacrifice. That was kind of like a normal thing. That's the reason why Jake was going into captivity, because it was worshiping these other gods, doing different sacrificing humans. You know what I'm saying? And so, he thought that that's how the Lord was going to be pleased, right? Because you ain't never see nobody just saying that, making this type of vow. This vow was off. Saying he gonna offer up whoever the first person that comes out of my house to meet me. I'm gonna offer it up to you, Lord. I'm gonna put them. That's not what the Lord requires, right? So it says, verse 32. So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands, right? And he smote them from Aroer, even till thou comest to Manith, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. Right. So going back to this map, you can see all throughout the land, you know what I'm saying? Basically, he had success, right? All throughout the land of Ammon. So he subdued the Ammonites, but at what cost? Well, here we go, verse 34. And Jephthah came to Mizpeh unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances. And she was his only child.
Mm.
Beside her, he had neither son nor daughter. See that? So now see how crazy he looking, you know. And this is just an example, in history that we can learn from. You make a vow to the Lord, you better pay up. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's better not to vow, because the Lord don't he's the father of spirits. That's another day in the park to him. You know what I'm saying? But to Jephthah, shit, that was his only child. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful, man. Right? And so it says in verse 35, and it came to pass when he saw her that he rent his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low.
Instant regret.
See that?
Instant regret. Chest all poked out. The Lord stuck a pin in that mug. You
You know
know,
what I'm saying?
and it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. You know, he had no idea that his daughter was going to be the first thing that he saw.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's right. Oh, even going up here to this back to Ecclesiastes, but going up to verse 2, it says, Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before the Most High.
you know what I'm saying. Don't get it in your mind that you know what I'm saying. Get your mind right. Don't be bruh. He fucked up.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying. But the Lord already knew he was going to do all that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying. We don't know what the Lord going to do. The Lord know what he going to do. He got this.
yep,
You see, the Lord don't got to fear himself.
man, yeah, right. It says, For the Most High is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be talking too damn much. You know what I'm saying? Just what's the word? Vain jangling.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So it says, in the middle of verse 35, back in Judges 11, it says, And thou art one of them that trouble me, for I have opened my mouth unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and I cannot go back. And she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord, do to me according to that which hath proceeded out of thy mouth.
You know what I'm saying? And the Lord put the spirit on her to be like, you know what? It is what it is.
Man.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you, if that's, and that's what I'm saying. She said, you know what, pops? If that's what you told the Lord you was gonna have to do, then that's what you're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
She could have easily fled or bucked up or did anything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But she understood through the spirit.
Yep. And really that was a custom. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were basically taught the law. You know what I'm saying? Going back all the way to that time, we were taught, like, okay, this is the law. This is what you're supposed to do in these situations. If you open up your mouth to the Lord, like it says in Numbers, we're looking for Numbers 30. This is that. Fuck, man. I keep messing up. Numbers 30. There we go.
Is a
Numbers
telephone
30.
number in there?
Man, I'm gonna have to crop that shit, boy. Change my shit after this shit. Tried to play it off the first time.
I said,
Numbers
what
30
the
and 2.
hell? I said, you
Hey.
finna call somebody on the blue letter? Let me call my lifeline.
Oh shit, man. You gotta laugh it off sometime. This is Numbers 30 and 2. It says, if a man vow a vow unto the Lord, unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his sword. He shall do according. Excuse
His
me. He shall
word.
not break it. The water. He shall not break his word. He shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. You see what I'm saying? And then the law is slightly different for a woman. You know what I'm saying? If unless if a woman's like she's not married, she can't really vow no vow. You know what I'm saying? Unless her father approves of it. You know what
Right.
I mean? Um, just going to show you that women she don't have the same level of discernment. They be making emotional vows, emotional
Oh boy.
decisions. you know.
Oh
So,
boy.
but Jephthah was fully aware, so he had to definitely had to keep that vow, right? And but like you said, Zaquan, the daughter understood, right? So it says, for as much as the Lord had taken vengeance for thee of thine enemies, even the children of Ammon. And she said unto her father, let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my fellows.
Look up that word bewail,
Okay.
and then we can check the GNT and see what it say.
All right. Go down. Bewail. Strong's H1058. Baka. To weep, bewail, to cry, to shed tears, to weep in grief, to weep bitterly, lament, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
to
Give me,
mourn.
give me, give me. Let me just let me go to a safe place so I can cry.
Man. And she knew she would
Give me,
get like,
yeah. Give me. I mean, she finna die.
man.
She finna be sacrificed. So she was
She
like,
was
"Well,
a
shit,
virgin.
just let me find a safe place to go cry." You know what I'm saying? Who
Yep.
knows what all she did on that mountain? You know what I'm saying? She's probably praying to the Lord the whole time.
Yep.
You know? Go ahead.
Yep. And then, she was a virgin too. So that's why she said to bewail her virginity, like, you know what I'm saying? Because a woman's life, basically her goal in life was to bear forth children. You know what I'm saying? But she died being a virgin. You know what I'm saying? She was like, let me go with my friends, they gonna comfort me, you know what I'm saying, just for
Matter of
these
fact,
2.
look up virginity too to see if it's Bapala or what the word is.
Okay. So yeah, Bathwallah right here.
Okay.
Bathwallah, yeah. Right? Let me get it
Never
real
been
quick.
touched.
Yep. Yep. Bathwalayum, which is virginity, plural version of
Yeah.
virginity. Bathwallah. Bathwallah is virgin, you know what I'm saying? Virgin. I think Esau I think Esau took off some stuff on this one too to try to, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
virginity, virgin. You know what I'm saying? A woman that's never been touched, like you said. Okay. And going back here to the scripture, okay, she said, I and my fellows, me and my friends, like, so they can comfort her. Uh and it says in verse 38, and he said, go, right? So he let her do it. And he sent her away for 2 months, and she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. Now, you said you want that in the GNT, right? Judges
Yeah.
11. Judges 11. Judges 11. And I think it's the last 3 verses. Okay. Starting at verse 37, Judges 11 says, but she asked her father, do this one thing for me. Leave me alone for 2 months so that I can go with my friends to wander in the mountains and grieve that I must die a virgin. It says, and he told her, go, and sent her away for 2 months. And she and her friends went up into the mountains and grieved because she was going to die unmarried and childless.
Man.
See that? Not
Man.
just because she was going to die, but because she wasn't going to be able to have no, what's the word? Uh, Starts with a P. But basically, she won't have, well, not prosperity, but
Say that again.
she wasn't going to have any, pedigree, but basically she wasn't going to have any children. She wasn't going to have
Right.
any family, you know what I'm saying? So uh verse 39, I'll go back, well, I'll read this here. Verse 39, it says, after 2 months she came back to her father, and he did what he had promised to the Lord, and she died still a virgin. You see that? So,
Man.
right? So it says, let me see here. It says in verse 39, and it was a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite for 4 days in the year. So these niggas talking about Mother's Day and all this bullshit, you know. That's why the whole world, like the scripture say in 1 John chapter 5, man, the whole world lieth in wickedness. You know what I'm saying? I wonder how many Christians, what percentage of Christians actually know about this story. You know, they just got done
Man.
celebrating Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that just came to mind, you know. But that's the end of the chapter. Let's see if we got any comments. We got some precepts on here. Sure. Yep. Ecclesiastes 5. Yep. Numbers 30. We got that one. Yep. Oh, Luke 14:8. That's a good one. Yeah, let me get this one real quick. Luke 14. Let me just turn this off. Luke 14 and 28. It says, "For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down whether he have sufficient to finish it?"
Now you see, Jephthah, he didn't take it to consider. He didn't count the cost when he
Yeah.
made that vow.
Yeah.
You see, you got that same sentiment happening today. Jake make these vows and they say these things, but they don't realize that they don't even have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, you ain't never seen King David make no crazy vows like that. You know, and then you had Saul that was making crazy vows like that. So you see both sides. You know.
Yep. It says, "Less happily," continuing Luke 14:29, "less happily after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, This man began to build and was not able to finish."
That's what I'm saying. And you don't want to be that man that's being laughed at and being mocked. No, 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 no. We understand that this thing. We understand that our walk could end up with us going in the ground and then
Mm-hmm.
being resurrected. You
Mm-hmm.
see, your walk. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody expected spiritual powers and all that, and that's cool. That's fine and dandy. It's gonna happen to somebody, but some of us is gonna have to die for this thing, man. And the reward for dying for this thing, dying manfully and dying in the sincerity and truth, is to be raised up first. But to make these vows, I'm not gonna do this no more. I'm not gonna do that no more. No, 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 no. That ain't no different than a nigga in the world that's too damn drunk talking about, Lord, if you get me through this one, I ain't never gonna drink again. Next thing you know, shit. As soon as a nigga throw up, everything is better.
Yep. Yep.
We all gotta watch our mouths in the spirit, man. You know? You got it.
Yep. Yep. It says, this is Romans 14. Oh, let me put my script back up again. Last precept I got. Uh, Romans 14:5. It says, One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Because what you don't want to do is, take eat the cup, eat the bread and drink the blood of Yahweh Shah unworthily. Now it's counted to your, because we mentioned, or I don't know if we mentioned it. I know we talked about it before the lesson. We enter into a covenant with Yahweh Shem Yahshai when we put our hands to the plow. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is a lesson that could be taken from this account today that we can apply to. Is you see how Jephthah rent his clothes, he lamented, he mourned, he was sad, everybody was sad, but check this out, he still went through with it. You know what I'm saying? He still went through with it. That shows that he's a man of his word, even though that was the last thing he expected, was to
Right.
have to sacrifice his daughter. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, he wouldn't have made the vow. But at the end of the day, he still went through with it. You know what I'm saying? So counting the costs and being fully persuaded in your own mind, you know, you gotta be ready to take it to whatever level. You know what I'm saying? The Lord. But see, when we already in the covenant with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Teaching this word. But we made a covenant with the Lord back in Egypt that we broke. So now we got to get this right, man. You know what I'm saying? We can't, I'll say back when we left the land of Egypt, in the wilderness, we broke that covenant, over the course of the hundreds of years that we going into this history. We continuously, uh, disregarded that covenant once we got our end of the deal. You know what I'm saying? When the Lord allowed us into the land, then we just forgot the Lord and said, okay, we're going to do our own thing. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So now we gotta be fully persuaded, in our own truth. All right, so that no man can persuade us otherwise. You know, and so that's all I have, Zaquan.
Yeah, I would say shit. Yeah, it don't say nothing about Jeff to having no more kids that I know of. But you know what I'm saying. I bet you moving forward, he always that's what I'm saying. The Lord will make it to where you'll never forget something. You know what I'm saying. So I'm pretty sure moving forward, Jeff was on point. Or it don't say whether he had no more kids or what. But I mean, you live and you learn, right?
Con, right? Yeah, yeah.
You can close us out.
Con. Let's see. Oh, it's one more good one. One more good one.
The water for them precepts, brother.
Con. Yep. This is this brother right here. Yours, Judah Israel, put Ecclesiastes 7:9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. You know what I'm saying? He could have gotten his emotions. He could have got, you know, he could have got emotional. You know what I'm saying? No, that's my daughter. Went back on his word and then really got jacked up. You know, but basically being in a hasty spirit in general is never a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Never a good idea.
Yep, it's a
So
beautiful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. And
con,
he unfortunately got swagged up to the point to where he delivered his daughter into the hands of the living power. You know, so we got to be careful, man. You
con,
close us up.
con. So hey, Abaratazah, Lord willing, this is edifying. With that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.